People calling me a guru, a spiritual man, why did they fast to you? I don't know, the people that have been coming to see me all these years are only seekers. You see, anything I say naturally, they interpret in terms of their reference of framework, which is religious. Yeah. And however hard I try and emphasize that what I have come to has no religious content at all. And somehow it doesn't interest them at all. See, they still think that that I fit into their framework. Yeah. And see, that is, it's not the individuals, but the traditional framework that is there cannot tolerate anything outside of it. It has to make it part of itself.
Yeah, but I expect that human because they probably ask you questions which are fundamentally important, and the only people who so far hazarded guesses about it are people who dabble in spirituality, and other people who haven't really either totally rejected it like Bertrand Russell.
No, it's not that when I say that God is irrelevant, it does not mean that I'm an atheist or even an agnostic. So if some of them still insist on calling me a God man, it's an insult to God and an insult to me. So for centuries we have been using God as an instrument of power and used it to destroy life and property. I point out to many of the people that the thieves have not done any harm, they have not destroyed anything. Only those people who believe in God have destroyed life and property. So they sometimes throw this at me, what about communism? Communism. You see, I will tell you that communism is a warty outgrowth of the religious thinking of man. But they destroyed a lot of people for a political ideology, not in the name of God, but when the church stood in the way of achieving their political goals, they had to destroy and suppress all the religious elements in the country. So they're still not satisfied, but we leave God to the theologians, let them go on discussing the ontological, teleological, cosmological truths of the existence of God. But God at a particular time in the history of mankind was an extension of the same survival mechanism. You know what I don't know, you are the one that can bring out something from me.
Sir, excuse me, there is a phone call for you from Bombay.
Yes.
Wait, Sharma.
That's the secretary. Hello? Hello? Yes? I can't hear you. Can you speak louder? Yes, speaking. Yes. Yes. I'm not likely to come to Bombay. I'm going to Bangalore on Sunday. Huh? Will it be possible for you to call me after an hour? Yes, because I met a friend who has come to flying cost. Huh? Gita? Yes.
That's my wife, sir.
Yes.
Really, she likes coffee.
No, I don't understand you. I'm not very clear. Will you please call me after an hour? No, don't do any such thing. You call me after an hour. Yes, please. Thank you. You really want to come here?
Yes.
No.
Even if you're in the bathroom, he wants to talk to you.
No. She's violent, it seems, and I must see you, Jesus. I don't want to see her. And you see, anything I will tell her will have no effect on her. She has to have medicine. She doesn't want to take medicine. That is number one. And second thing is the mother. She is pushing her to do everything possible to go back to her career and to do everything possible to reduce her weight. They are
This is the
early
hobby. Yes.
So there's not much that I can do. I did the best I could do to her when she was with me in Switzerland and in the United States. But suddenly she disappeared. I don't know, but what can I do? I'm not running a clinic for all these mentally disturbed people.
That's a great city. She's such a beautiful
Such
woman.
a beautiful woman.
I must have had a role in her
I see.
charm, and now it's suddenly was
I've seen the photos where you express boy.
heartbreaking.
No, it's really heartbreaking. It's really.
Let me come back to the subject where we
So, let me first make a very brief, I don't like to call it a statement, one or two, what's the word, you see, statements? Observations, you see. And what I have come to is something extraordinary for me. I was born in this country, it was an accident. I was thrown into a very rich family, it was an accident. You see, it made it very easy for me to pursue whatever I wanted to pursue. I was thrown into a very religious atmosphere, you see. That was also an accident. See, my grandfather happened to be a member of the Theosophical Society. He knew the founders of the Theosophical Society, Blavatsky and Oscar, my mother's father. And then I knew all the second generation, third generation leaders of the Theosophical Society. And it may sound very strange to you, I lived with murderers, rapists, conmen, masterminds, spiritual teachers, godmen. Not hardly during the course of my 72 years of life, at least during the first 49 years of life. And I traveled all over the world, practically every country in the world except China for some reason. I didn't go there, now I don't care at all. And I grew up in such an atmosphere, I found, see, the dichotomy is the word and what they believe and what they say. My makeup was such a strange makeup. Genetically, I was programmed that way to question everything ever since I was a little boy. By the time I was 7, God went out of my system and I never entered the temple afterwards. Afterwards, I realized that, see, the interest in enlightenment, interest in God moksha, liberation, freedom, and what Krishnamurti talked about, the transformation, radical transformation, meditation of mind, etc. All is the extension of the same thing, variations of the same thing. So I actually and factually I did not in any way free myself from the whole idea of God. But I am pursuing the same thing on a different level, which is nothing but an extension of the same pleasure movement, I can mean that. But then I switched over to the Western science, philosophies, and the whole thing. See, I got involved with the Theosophical Society because of my background. I became a very active participant. By the time I was 34, I was elected as the Joint Secretary of the Theosophical Society in India, national lecturer, international lecturer. But this question, you see, always bothered me, intrigued me. So I cannot call all these people hypocrites. What is wrong with what they believe in? Why there is this dichotomy in their lives? Maybe the source may be wrong, you see. All the teachers of mankind, particularly the spiritual teachers of mankind, con themselves and con the whole of mankind. I have to find out for myself. I have no way of finding out anything for myself. As long as I depended upon somebody, I remained helpless, you know. So I found that, you see, whatever I wanted was what they wanted me to want. Whatever I thought, whatever they wanted me to think, there was no way out, you see, of this, you know. It went on and went on and on and on. Somewhere along the line, something hit me that there is nothing there to be transformed. nothing there to be changed, there is no mind there is no self to realize, what the hell have I been doing? So that thought hit me like the shaft of a lightning, you see. Or you see, an earthquake shattered the whole thing and destroyed everything that was there. All the cultural input, you see, that freed me in a very strange way. Everything, every man thought, felt and experienced before. In a sort of way, destroyed totally the mind, which is nothing but the totality of man's experiences and thoughts, and even the identity. See, identity is nothing but a cultural input there. So there was nothing there to be free from, you know. What I was left with is something extraordinary here, tremendous living organism, pulsating with life, freed from the stranglehold of the whole culture, you know. So I tried to express it. The only people I had around me was all the Krishnamurti freaks or Rajneesh devotees, those who were completely not totally disillusioned with their gurus, you know, only that kind of people I had around me. And so everything I said, they interpreted in terms of their religious thinking. You are also an enlightened man. For some reason, we don't understand why you are giving expression to this in this strange way. What you say is bad enough. How you say it is worse. That was there. But yet they could not brush me aside. And then you see, somewhere along the line, I realized that I am an active, direct participant in this kind of a thing. People interpreting what I am saying in the religious terms. And so maybe I should find some way, some medium through which I can express myself. And people said suddenly, why have you gone public? You see, I never went out of the place, never gave lectures, never bothered even to accept the invitations of the televisions in the United States. So suddenly I decided maybe I should use that medium to express myself. You see, I don't even have the impetus to express myself, and I need you to express myself, you see. So you may say that I'm using you to express myself, but that doesn't matter. So let me try to see those people who are just entertainers, you know, who want to entertain themselves, and talk to the unseen public. Maybe it will hit somebody somewhere, and it will help him to understand, you see, what the actual situation is. So that's the reason why, you see, I suddenly decided to go on several talk shows in the United States, and very popular radio interviews, and then very recently I gave an interview to San Francisco Chronicle, and you may have heard the magazine Omni. I'm trying to find out some way I can express myself, but you see, they ask me why you are doing that. Do you still feel that you have a message for mankind? I don't have any message for mankind at all. But why am I breathing? You see, this is the only reality I have. And let me try to express myself and find out the situation in which we find ourselves today. And so that's the only reason why I see people and talk to them. And every time I have a chance, I go on the television and give an interview. Last time when I was here, Mr. Rajiv Mehrotra interviewed me on the Indian television. And so what I want to say to anybody who is interested in this, somewhere along the line, the human consciousness felt this self-consciousness. When I use the word self, you see, I don't mean that there is a self there, that there is a center there. That separated him from the totality of things, you see. And he was a frightened man. So he turned everything, you see, into something uncontrollable, into some divine cosmic thing and worship. It was in that frame of mind, quote unquote, he created God. He created, see, the whole rest of it. And culture is responsible for that, you see. I maintain that all the political institutions, all the political ideologies we have today are the outgrowths of the same religious thinking of man. So all the spiritual teachers in a way are responsible for the tragedy of mankind. We have come to a point where we have to ask different kind of questions and find out if there is anything that we can do to stop. You see, the way the whole world is moving, if the world has to, or the mankind, humanity has to free itself from the chaos of its own making, there must be some other way that man can come up with, you see, and see what he can do. As I see, the whole thing is heading in a direction where there is no way that we can stop it or reverse the whole things. We are doomed as it were.